Starting a renovation project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for all your essentials at our 10 stores island-wide. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled. A Pure Water would drink. The temperature by Pure Water is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, polls are closing in the Northeast St. by-election.
Less than 10% of voters turn out to cast their ballot as at 2 hours ago.
As the numbers indicate that the voter turnout was very low, up to 3 p.m. that is.
Prime Minister Holness is urging the Jamaican electorate to assess his administration's years of success when choosing their next government.
EPOC chairman says Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has a lot to complete before he departs the island.
Students remain the biggest threat to their peers in terms of critical incidents in the school system.
In news from the rest of the world, the UN approves a call by Foreign Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith to renew the mandate for the multinational security support mission in Haiti.
Hundreds unaccounted for and millions without power in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
In headline sports, West Indies fast bowler Chinel Henry says the team will be ready when the Women's T20 World Cup bowls off on October 3.
And later on our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, polls closing for the Northeast St. Anne by-election. The Electoral Office says the voter turnout was only about 9% as of 3 this afternoon. You'll hear from our team on the ground in Northeast St. Anne and Director of Elections Glasspool Brown.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, are you noticing lower prices for fresh vegetables and produce at supermarkets and markets? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
And at 7, the United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to renew the mandate of the multinational security support mission to Haiti, following Foreign Minister's Senator Kamina Johnson's call for greater support on Thursday. You'll have the latest.
Also in the third hour, authorities in the U.S. say the death toll from Hurricane Helene in the southeastern states of the country has risen to at least 100. You'll hear the latest.
All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide Radio, jm.com. and on the Nationwide app, available on Google Play and the App Store. This Monday afternoon, it's Monday, September 30, 2024.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The polls are now closed in the Northeast St. Anne by-election. The Electoral Office of Jamaica, the EOJ, is reporting a relatively incident-free day with a low voter turnout. Voting took place at 146 polling stations across the constituency. It's anticipated the governing Jamaica Labour Party's Matthew Samuda will easily win the vote in what's already considered a fairly safe seat for his party. His position is further strengthened because the opposition People's National Party did not contest the by-election. Mr. Samuda is instead facing off against a third-party candidate of the United Independence Congress, Chase Neal, and an independent candidate, David Anderson. The by-election was called following the resignation of Member of Parliament Marcia Smith. According to Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, up to 3 this afternoon, less than 10% of the more than 40,000 eligible electors had cast their ballot.
All right, up to 3 p.m., the voter turnout was 9.4%. Well, it's a peaceful day, quiet day, as the numbers indicate that the voter turnout was very low. So far, up to 3 p.m. that is. There's no outstanding incident. No incident was reported to us.
Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. He was speaking with Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the police say up to news time Monday's by-election in Northeast St. Anne was incident-free. Commanding officer for the St. Anne Police Division Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell says the police personnel were deployed from as early as 4 a.m.
Yeah, we have been out from about 4 o'clock this morning. Of course, we are playing the supporting role to the Electoral Office of Jamaica, whose responsibility it is to run this election. So far, no unusual eventualities across the 136 polling station operating from 36 locations. And of course, we got some support from our police high command with additional assets that came in from specialized operation as also the public safety branch. So far, so good.
SSP Dwight Powell, head of the St. Anne Police Division, he says the police will now transition to the next phase of the operation. That phase is to take the sealed ballots from the polling stations to the returning officers in order to begin the counting process.
And some Labourites in Northeast St. Anne say they are not happy with their party, the JLP.
Them not do teamwork. They don't know teamwork.
Labourite not do teamwork?
No, they don't.
What make it say?
Let me blind, sir.
Eh?
Me blind?
Oh, where you see it, sir?
Okay, me see it. They're not team members. They don't do the right thing. They're bunch of craps. But for Samuda, though, him look like we can give him a try.
Another Labourite says he's willing to give Matthew Samuda a chance.
Samuda a great man. I just feel the energy about him when the first time I see him, you see me. The man if he night thing, you see me, real elder and him thing they see it. Yeah man, so me there from morning, early night morning, I give me something to, well I'm all the way there, I don't know.
A Labourite speaking to our news team in Northeast St. Anne today.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging the Jamaican electorate to assess his administration's years of success when choosing their next government. He was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Lancewood Pipeline Extension Project in Exchange, St. Anne. Mahiri Stewart has that story.
Jamaicans will go to the polls next year when the general elections are due. According to the Prime Minister, Jamaican voters must begin to critically examine the government's efforts in managing the affairs of the country.
Your job as the voter is, yes, to make the protest about the water and the road and the school and the bus, but more so is to watch what the government is doing in the management of the economy. And there are a couple areas that you should look at. First thing is, what is the government doing with unemployment? That's reported almost quarterly. Is unemployment going up or is unemployment going down? What is the government doing with the management of your resources? Particularly, are they asking you for more taxes? What is the government doing with the debt? Is the debt going up or is the debt going down? These are the things that as voters you need to pay attention to.
The Prime Minister's honesty has come under fire recently following the Integrity Commission's report into his statutory declarations. The matter has ignited a row between the two major parties, with the opposition PNP calling for Holness to resign. The recent nationwide Blue Dot poll, which found that a small majority of Jamaicans, 51%, believe Prime Minister Holness is leading an extremely corrupt government, has added fuel to the controversy. Corruption is ranked as the second most important concern of Jamaicans in these polls. But Prime Minister Holness asserts that his administration has done more for the Jamaican people than any other previous government.
We are going to go through the length and breadth of Jamaica and make the point to every Jamaican that all the things that you want, the truth is that this government has had the highest rate of delivery of the things that you want. If you compare the delivery of water supply today versus the delivery of water supply for the 18.5 years of the opposition plus their last 5 years. If you compare the repair of roads and the building of new roads versus the opposition, we are way ahead. If you compare the building of houses, worse. If you compare the creation of jobs, if you create...
Mr. Holness says his tenure as Prime Minister is incomparable to others.
When I see poll and people talking, I wonder where is the rationality? Where is the rationality? There's no rationality. My conscience, is clear and my heart is clean. I have discharged my duties as Prime Minister of this country in a way that is incomparable.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Chairman of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, Keith Duncan, says with a little more than a month left, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has a lot to complete before he leaves the island. Dr. Clark is set to step down as Finance Minister to take up the post of a Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund come the end of October. However, Mr. Duncan says there are still several outstanding critical matters which require attention. Shaloy Smykel reports.
From outstanding public sector issues to budgetary adjustments, Mr. Duncan argues that Dr. Clark has several key concerns which remain outstanding, which he hopes will not be inherited by the next finance minister.
What we know for sure is that we need our interim fiscal, based on all our observations of the economy, based on the fact that growth rate is lower than projected. We expect an updated fiscal policy paper with new assumptions around where we see the economy over the next year. We would expect that we will get a supplemental budget. We would expect that the Minister of Finance will close out on the securitization of receivables. We will expect that the Minister of Finance will close out any outstanding public sector compensation negotiations for the wage agreement, which actually is completed in this fiscal year. So we expect for this to happen.
The EPOC chairman was speaking at a recent quarterly briefing regarding the state of Jamaica's economy. With the growth in the country anticipated to decline over the next quarter, the EPOC chairman says Dr. Clark must address the direction the country is heading after the recent shock suffered from Hurricane Beryl.
We expect that we will get direction through the interim fiscal policy paper from the Minister of Finance around the direction of the economy. And we expect that the Fiscal Commission, which is going to be very important, to be in place by January or the first quarter of 2025.
As for Dr. Clark's replacement, Mr. Duncan says the most important task will be to address the long-standing issue of low productivity among the public sector. Mr. Duncan says with salaries for the public sector dramatically increased, the country must see a tangible benefit from this significant investment.
The next round of business for the new finance minister is performance management and increasing productivity of the public sector. This has been promised. This probably should have went in tandem with the compensation restructuring. You know that there was performance management, but it didn't, and it was promised on the heels of public sector compensation, which has cost Jamaica significantly in terms of the increase of compensation to the public sector. It increased by over $100 billion in 2 years. The increase in wages and salaries to the public sector. We need some performance management now. We need to see true transformation of the public sector. The next Minister of Finance will now have to take on that.
Shaloy Smykel for Nationwide News.
You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
Value Drug Pharmacy offers curbside pickup and delivery of your branded and generic drugs. WhatsApp your prescription to 876-881-6695. The time by Value Drug Pharmacy is
13 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial is the expert in pest control, air purification, and hygiene services. Call today 876-926-4236.
The temperature by Rentokil is
30 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 out west in Montego Bay.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a famous gamer with viral videos all over the internet. I'm going to be rich. Good thing I'll already know how to take care of my money since Mommy got me this Sure Start account.
Open a CIBC Caribbean Sure Start account for your kids and give them a head start on financial smarts with a $1,200 sign-up bonus from us. We believe in their dreams as much as you do, so let's get them going together. Start young, start strong with Sure Start from CIBC.
Continuing the news, Data from the Ministry of Education show that students remain the biggest threat to their peers in terms of critical incidents in the education sector. That's according to Director of Safety and Security at the Ministry, Richard Troop. Speaking at a recent meeting of the Rotary Club of New Kingston, Mr. Troop says bullying in particular has become a growing problem among students. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The Ministry of Education recently conducted a survey of over 300 schools gathering data about the perception of student safety. According to Mr. Troop, there were no schools in Jamaica where students felt fully secure. However, the Safety and Security Director says most incidents involving students did not occur on school campuses. Instead, the majority of critical incidents happened on the way to and from school, perpetrated mainly by fellow students.
It is important I'm saying this because the greatest threat to our nation's children is not when they are at school, but as they journey to and from school. The critical incidents that we see often in our schools are not necessarily linked to issues at school, but issues that impact negatively on our nation's children. Hurting children will hurt other children. So what about the 45% that did not feel safe and secure at school? Again, this is speaking to the type of critical incidents that would have been occurring in our schools. And colleagues, I want to suggest to you from the data, what the data is saying, the greatest threat to students' safety and security are the students themselves.
He says the greatest threat faced by students are incidents of bullying and cyberbullying. Mr. Troop says both have been on the rise in recent years.
Bullying represents the greatest threat to students' safety and security on and off campus. I say on and off campus because the fights that would normally take place at school are now taking place off campus. The reports of bullying is 1.2% higher in primary school. Some other scary data. Bullying is highest in all boys school, 45.2%, followed by co-ed school, 40.2%, but lowest in all female school, 27.8%. But even then, there was a time when all female schools, this was like non-existent. We're seeing now bullying, being a major growing feature, an emerging concern, even among our all-girls schools.
What is more worrying, according to Mr. Troop, is that these are not being reported, including incidents of gang violence.
62% of students do not report knowledge of their peers being involved in gang. Another major problem with regards to critical incidents, and a major feature of critical incidents in school is gang-related violence, school-based gangs. Colleagues, I want to make the point when we say that we have to be sure about what happens in the space in and around the school. We know that the presence of gang-related violence. Schools are more vulnerable to gang-related violence in school when within the communities where the schools are located, there is a sustained presence and gang-related activities in these spaces.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
The United Nations has approved a call by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, to renew the mandate of the Multinational Security Support Mission in Haiti. Senator Johnson-Smith made the call during her speech at the UN General Assembly in New York last week. Dana Davey reports.
The ongoing turmoil in Haiti formed part of the Foreign Affairs Minister's speech at the General Assembly last week. Senator Johnson-Smith lamented the situation while highlighting Jamaica's efforts to lend a helping hand.
Mr. President, much closer to home, Haiti continues to face one of the most challenging periods in its storied history. Rampant gangs are causing chronic instability and unspeakable violence, especially against women and children. Millions of Haitians are facing hunger and dislocation. They need and deserve the unwavering support of the international community to restore peace, security, and democracy, and to address the devastating humanitarian crisis. Jamaica will continue to play its part, including through CARICOM and the Eminent Persons Group, in supporting the political process in Haiti. Significant progress has already been made, particularly since the Kingston talks convened by CARICOM in Jamaica in March of this year.
Senator Johnson Smith praised the Kenyan government for its role in the multinational security support mission in Haiti. She called on international partners to ramp up their efforts where support for the mission is concerned.
The multinational security support mission is critical to the restoration of peace and security in Haiti. We reiterate our gratitude to the government of Kenya for its leadership of and commitment to the MSS. We're pleased to confirm that on the 12th of September, Jamaica deployed its initial command contingent along with Belize as part of the MSS. We are committed to scaling up our numbers, but we also call on the international community to contribute more personnel and equipment. Restoration of peace and security is critical to the creation of an environment in which free and fair elections can be held. The establishment of democratic governance is critical for sustainable economic growth and development for Haiti.
Senator Johnson Smith called on the UN Security Council to renew the mandate for the multinational security support mission.
Mr. President, since the deployment of the MSS, we have seen improvements in the situation and have reason for cautious optimism. More is needed, however, and time is not on Haiti's side. It is critical that we preserve and advance gains made. It is critical that we maintain hope and stability. We therefore urge the Security Council to renew the mandate of the MSS and to consider future transition to a peacekeeping framework to guarantee funding. We also call for continued and increased support from member states, including financial contributions to the trust fund. This is needed for deployment of additional personnel to support the HNP as they recover communities from criminal gangs.
Following Senator Johnson Smith's call, the 15-nation council renewed the mandate in a unanimous vote on Monday. The council urged the MSS mission to speed up its deployment. It also called on all nations to provide additional voluntary contributions and support. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
More than 600 people are missing or unaccounted for in the United States in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. The White House says some 2 million people are without power as 50,000 personnel are trying to restore electricity across multiple states. Roads blocked by debris and downed communication lines have hampered search and rescue efforts. At least 116 people have reportedly died. 35 of them died in just one North Carolina county, Buncombe. Helene, which made landfall in Florida on Thursday, began as a Category 4 hurricane. It became the most powerful on record to hit Florida's Big Bend before moving north into Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories in Nationwide News at this hour. The polls are now closed in the Northeast St. by-election.
Less than 10% of voters turn out to cast their ballot as at 2 hours ago.
Prime Minister Holness is urging the Jamaican electorate to assess his administration's years of success when choosing their next government.
EPOC Chairman Keith Duncan says Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has a lot to complete before he departs the island.
Students remain the biggest threat to their peers in terms of critical incidents in the education sector. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News next at the headlines at 6.
Attention motorists. It's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. Automated T-Tag lanes reduce the cost of collecting and managing cash at our toll plazas, and drivers of Class 1 and Class 2 vehicles who use the T-Tag pay a lower toll fare than those who use the manually operated toll booths. These motorists also get their 10th trip through any one toll plaza free. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
You good, Mark? No, you know, from what day me have these terrible heartburns. I don't know why.
What kind of food you eating?
To tell you the truth, you know, I mostly eat fast food. I live alone and I'm too busy for cook my youth.
That's your problem. You're eating too much processed food and building up trans fat.
Trans fat? What that?
Trans fat is a type of fat in a processed foods like fried chicken, fries, donuts, and them things there.
So how that cause heartburn?
So eating trans fat can cause acid reflux. So if you don't stop eat it or cut back on the amount you eat, things can get worse.
Like what?
You can get heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, or even die.
But fats and oils not important for eat my youth.
Yes, but the healthy kind in a vegetable aisle, nuts and fish.
Okay, no, I'm gonna switch up my diet starting today.
Just remember to balance it out with your fresh fruits, vegetables, and ground provision.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Good afternoon with your sports report. I am Alex Raby. We kick things off with some football as at half-time, Rossies were leading Anchovy 4-1 in the Issa Water Costa Cup football competition. Meanwhile, Denby lead Central 2-0, Green Pond and Irwin are tied at 1-1, Glenmuir lead Veer 3-0 and York Castle lead Ferncourt 1-0. Now in cricket, West Indies fast bowler Chanel Henry is confident the team will be ready when the ICC Women's T20 World Cup bowls off in the United Arab Emirates next month. Henry made the comment after making an unbeaten 59 in Sunday's losing effort in their warm-up match against India. The tournament begins with two matches, Bangladesh against Scotland and Pakistan against Sri Lanka on October 3. The Windies women will face Australia in a warm-up match tomorrow before facing South Africa in their tournament opener on October 4. Henry says there are still areas that they need to improve on before the start of the World Cup.
Come on the 4th or the next practice game, we will be ready. I just think, individually, I guess each person just needs to just contribute a little bit here and there. And once we have that from all 11 who's on the field, of course, the team will be successful. So I think, going into the next practice game, even into the tournament, individual performances will be key.
She says the players need to quickly get acclimatized to weather conditions in the UAE.
The heat, of course, it's always a challenge, but it's something that we do all the time. So of course that's not an excuse. It was just about that mentality of wanting it, that hunger mentality. And once you could get through just those little obstacles and go out there and do what's needed for the team, then we will be successful.
Chanel Henry. The four semi-finalists have been decided for the playoff round of the Caribbean Premier League CPL at the Providence Stadium in Guyana on October 1 and 2. They are defending champions Guyana Amazon Warriors, Trinbago Knight Riders, Barbados Royals and St. Lucia Kings. The Knight Riders will take on the Royals on October 1, while the Warriors face the Kings a day later, with the final set for October 4. The Knight Riders are seeking their fifth hold on the trophy, while the Royals won the title 2 times when they were known as the Tridents. Kings are the only team not to have won a title, while Warriors hope to retain the title. A new era in Jamaica's cricket will begin tomorrow when former national player and selector Robert Haynes takes over as head coach of the Jamaica Scorpions. Haynes had long been identified as the new coach, but could not be officially announced in his new role since the current coach, Andrew Richards, is still under contract. Richardson's 2-year contract expires today. Haynes will have his hands full trying to turn around the fortunes of the Scorpions, who lost all but 2 of their games last season. Head of the selection panel, Delroy Morgan, is looking forward to the Haynes era.
We're expecting a lot. I know Jamaica has been down. We didn't do well
last year in this competition, the 50 overs, we came last. In the 4-day competition too, we came way down the order there. So we're looking forward to this group of players to really take Jamaica cricket forward and do well. We need to do better. We know it's just a little start now, but we're looking forward for these guys to really bring us right back up there where we belong.
Delroy Morgan. The Scorpions have been staging trial games under the supervision of Morgan and other members of the coaching staff. I'm Alex Raby, and that's your sports.
Since 2016, 156,000 more Jamaicans are working. This is more than any other time in our history. Your government is caring for you. The time brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister is
5:30.
Drive Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads, a place you've come to know and trust for quality and the best prices. Now, come see our expanded range of products, fine furnishings, kitchenware, your smart TVs, and all things electronics, and the latest in curtains, bed linen, and bathroom accessories. It's the new and expanded Azen Super Center in Midtown Crossroads with convenient, safe, and free parking. Shop with a smile at Azen Super Center.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
Motorists, as Minister of Justice, I appeal to you, obey the road code, pay your ticket on time, and only go to court if the ticket is being contested. Close to 80% of matters coming to the parish courts are for traffic breaches. Let's work together to make our roads safe and ease the burden on our courts.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
We've been a part of everyday Jamaican life for over 25 years. From paydays to birthdays, unexpected emergencies to anniversary celebrations. The supermarket checkout line or paying a bill or taxes on time. Our fast, secure debit network provides reliable service so you can always depend on Multilink. Jamaican and proud, fast, secure, everywhere.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here at Nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Good afternoon, Siobhan.
Good afternoon, Sir Hughes.
Good. Well, in our cover story this afternoon, the polls closed just over half an hour ago in the North East St. Anne by-election. It was contested by the JLP's Matthew Samuda, Chase Neal of the United Independents Congress, and an independent candidate, David Fritz Anderson.
The seat became vacant on September 3 following the resignation of the JLP's Marcia Smith. Smith's relationship with her constituents quickly soured, with protests against her starting in 2022 after she won the constituency in the 2020 general election.
While many of the JLP supporters who spoke with Nationwide today pledged their support for Matthew Samuda, there were clear signs of problems in the JLP's camp. One JLP supporter told our news centre that members of the party in the constituency are not working together.
And work together.
Them not do teamwork.
They don't know teamwork.
Labor right now do teamwork?
No, they don't.
What make you say so?
Let me blind, sir.
Eh?
Me blind?
Or where you see yourself?
Okay, me see it. They're not team members. They don't do the right thing. They're a bunch of craps. But for Samuda though, why name Samuda? Matthew? Him look like we can give him a try.
One shy, never change.
You don't know about that. Me have to see work first. You know, depend on no depend.
What do you expect from Samuda?
I expect better than what Shiny was doing. Yes.
What you need him to do then?
Do the right thing. Do the right thing overall for the people. Yeah, and for the country. Right.
Earlier, somebody that told me say they feel like the regular people in the space don't really get like the representation what they deserve.
They don't. And they're a set of crab in a barrel. Yeah.
So if
like me, who don't beg handouts and stuff like those and hand-me-downs and stuff, I can judge because I see it.
A JLP supporter there, and another one had the same complaint.
I'm here from 5 in the morning, and honestly speaking, my fellow co-workers, they're not the great team. Some just sit down, because from morning work kill me, and I'm a runner and a driver, and we have a supervisor that is not interested in the job, she just there. But in a real life, Matthew, may I give me a chance. Remember, Shiny come. Shiny do her part. We are give Matthew the chance to do his part. And with a great woman, you need a great man. So we are put him in. But Mr. Matthew, this is Melissa speaking. When you come in, clean up the house will sweep out and rake out. Yes. Clean up the house, my boss. Because it will cost you. And once it costs you, it costs we will come put the X beside the bell. Clean up the house, my boss.
Melissa. She identifies herself, Melissa, and a clear, unequivocal message to Matthew Samuda. Things not right in the house. He needs a clean house. Yes.
Yes, and another labourite called for St. Anne's Bay Mayor Michael Belnavis to go.
Samuda a great man. I just feel the energy about him for the first time I see him. I see me. The man if he night thing, I see me real elder and him thing they see it. Yeah man. I'm there from morning, early morning. I give me something to I'm all the way there. I don't know. Ben Davis, I tell you, if you have a young girl Ben Davis, then they get money. Yeah man, Ben Davis need to go. Samunda are the real man, you see me? If you have money, for the young girl them thing that Ben Davis deal with, him need to go. My respect.
JLP supporter in North East St. Anne calling on Samunda to turn things around.
Meanwhile, the MP for East Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Holness, says the day went fairly well.
Things started off fairly slow, comfortable, no incidents at all. The number of persons coming out, because they feel it's not a contested election, is not as significant, so lower turnout. Persons are still excited and appreciate that they want to show their numbers and their support. I am at Ocherios Primary School. I've been to Ocherios High School. I was assigned to the Falklands area, which is very, very supportive of the Labour Party. And so many of them have come out to show their support for Matthew Samuda. Coming from the days of Helene, they would love to have a member of parliament that is extremely active, and that is the arcs of Matthew Samuda. Once you take the seat, which they're confident he will, they're expecting the type of leadership that is always on the ground, always in touch with them, and ready and able to serve them with all the necessary benefits, the agencies, whatever the government has to offer. They want their member of parliament to look at their needs and fill them.
You've been talking to the people in the community. You've been hearing their cries. What have been some of the stuff they've been saying to you?
But for Falkland, it was a wonderful community. It didn't ask much in terms of having individual needs. Their primary need is to have a skills training center. And the other great need for them is a proper settlement, land settlement for an area that they have occupied for over 20 years but do not have title for. It's owned by the UDC. I forwarded in both cases the requirements of the people of the community so that the respective agencies of government can start taking a look at it. For many of the individuals that I've spoken to, I realize that they are not very often with the different benefits that government have to offer at various agencies. So it has been almost like a teaching experience, a training experience. So
that is Juliet Holness. She is the MP for East Rural St. Andrew. According to her, she was in charge of the Falklands area in Northeast St. Anne. We also spoke with the independent candidate who ran in the race. That's David Fritz Anderson, and he says he did not bring out as many people as he wanted.
Today is, and it is going good. A little bit exhausted after all that I had to go through, but I'm feeling good.
Where would you say you would pick up most of your votes today?
Well, since I am not privy to have a count of all the votes, but my area is like Civil Heights, right, and Windsor Heights. Those are my areas. Priory should be on a balance, but Civil Heights, Windsor Heights.
Did you manage to bring out enough people, you think?
Up to now, no, not all that I wanted to, but I'm still grateful. The turnout was pretty much low. The general turnout was pretty much low. So, it is what it is. And it's a day that we prepared for, and what happens depends on the voters. So we await that.
Okay, that's David Anderson, the independent candidate. Meanwhile, we're all watching closely the turnout today. At 11 this morning, the Electoral Office of Jamaica, the EOJ, reported that only 5.12% of the registered voters in the constituency had cast their ballots. At 3 this afternoon, that had increased to only 9%. There are more than 40,000 registered voters in Northeast St. Anne. Our news team spoke with several who opted not to vote today. Their complaints ranged from inadequate representation to a general underdevelopment of their communities.
Voting at this minute wouldn't be in my favor because since I don't know what the purpose these guys are doing, I say the voting thing on, because I don't see the development in my community, which I hope to see them do, I say. So voting right now wouldn't be in my, considering what they're doing, it doesn't affect my community. My community is a diverse community. There's a lot of development in where tourism could be the essence in my community. We could have the TDB could put in some intervention, the government could put in some intervention, but whereas in developing the community or having that process, they don't commit it to see that they want to commit to their numbers, you know what I'm saying? So as I said, voting is not really something that impact me, you know what I say? So that's the reason why I'm not in that lineup, you know, because there's so many development need to be happening in my community where they need to get involved and they're not involved.
Are you voting today?
No, I'm not.
Why are you not voting today?
I vote for change. There is no change in my country, so I'm heading to work now.
What would make you vote?
Growth for young people, better health care, treating government workers better, teachers, doctors, a decline in crime. Yeah.
Do you plan to vote in today's election?
No.
I have to ask, as a young person,
Yeah.
why would you not be interested in voting today?
As I see how it benefit the country, like roads, hospitals, schools, and tax paying, all those them things there, you know.
Are you planning to vote today?
No, I'm not.
Why?
I really, growing up, politics wasn't really my thing. I didn't like politics because I'm from the ghetto, and growing up seeing that there are always stuff to do, because when you're voting, I remember says the person that you vote for, you're supposed to come through and find out what the constituency want, and then them supposed to fix that, right? So each time, me growing up seeing, each time my parents, grandparents, cousins, uncle, everybody in the community are voting, and then things are still the same, or even it get worse.
Residents of Northeast St. Anne explaining why they have chosen or elected not to vote in today's by-election. Well, we're going to be taking a break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Nationwide's own Rodney Campbell, who is at the electoral office in St. Anne's Bay, along with the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown. He'll also join us.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
5:47.
Upgrade your kitchen and bathroom to the next level with Unique Living. They're the ultimate destination for all your kitchen and bathroom needs, from luxurious shower systems to exquisite faucets, vanities, sinks, toilets, closets, and more. They have it all. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call them at 876-755-3661. Elevate your space with Unique Living, where quality meets expectations.
You good, Mark? No, I know. From what day me I have these terrible heartburns. I don't know why. What kind of food you eating? To tell you the truth, I mostly eat fast food. I live alone and I'm too busy for cook my youth. That's your problem. You're eating too much processed food and building up trans fat. Trans fat? What that? Trans fat is a type of fat in a processed foods like fried chicken, fries, donuts, and them things there. So how that cause heartburn? So eating trans fat can cause acid reflux. So if you don't stop eat it or cut back on the amount you eat, things can get worse. Like what? You can get heart attacks, stroke, type 2 diabetes, or even die. But fats and oils not important for eat, my youth. Yes, but the healthy kind in a vegetable aisle, nuts and fish. Okay, I'm gonna switch up my diet starting today. Just remember to balance it out with your fresh fruits, vegetables, and ground provision.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Tie your laces, put on something purple, and support the CIBC Caribbean Walk for the Cure. Join us at Hope Gardens on Sunday, October 6th at 6 a.m. We're walking, running, and moving in the fight against cancer. Sign up today at runningeventsja.com. Registration fee $3,000 includes your Walk for the Cure t-shirt while supplies last. CIBC Walk for the Cure, Sunday, October 6th, 6 a.m. at Hope Gardens. All proceeds in aid of the Jamaica Cancer Society.
Drive Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Ten minutes going up to 6 o'clock. We are looking at the counting now of the ballots in today's by-election in Northeast St. Anne. And we have the first results coming through to us from the counting center. 45 of 146 boxes completed, yes, and leading with 95% of the votes counted so far, as expected, Matthew Peter Samuda, yes, of the Jamaica Labour Party, with 1,310 votes, or 95% of the votes so far. In second place is the independent candidate, David Anderson, with 65 votes, or 5%, and just under 1%, Neil Chase of the UIC with 9 votes. So, as expected, Matthew Samuda is way out front with 1,310 votes to Anderson of the independent candidate, 65 votes. 45 of 146 boxes counted so far.
And that's 30.82% of the total boxes.
And we have another update, yes. 63 now of 146 boxes counted, yes. 63 of 146. Matthew Samuda still winning with 95% of the votes. He has 1,988 votes. To Anderson of the UIC, 83, and 14 for Chase of the UIC.
So nothing shocking by those tallies thus far. Matthew Samuda quite clearly ahead, and will, unless barring some
will be the next member of parliament.
Will be the next member of parliament for Northeast St. Anne. Well, to give us further information, we have with us the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown, and our own Rodney Campbell down there in Northeast St. Anne. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, please.
Good afternoon. Let me begin with the Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown. What was the turnout today?
We have not the final figures. You notice that the preliminary accounts are coming in fairly rapidly. We should have that shortly. But suffice to say, though, up to 3 p.m., we were 9.3% turnout so far. I estimate it might go up to maybe, I'm looking at about maybe 12% thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But let us await the preliminary account to be completed.
Right.
And Rodney, you're on the ground down there, and you brought in some. Hello?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, yes, Rodney, you're down there on the ground. You brought in some audio to us that expressed there seemed to be a bit of apathy among many of the voters in the constituency.
Well, what we noticed from early in the day, and the prediction was that round about 1 to 3 p.m., a greater bulk of voters would be coming out based on voting expectations, work circumstances. However, having gone through and spoken to a lot of the experienced people on the ground, and on average, the feeling was that, one, the fact that the opposition did not contest this election made quite a few possible voters decide, well, what's the point? Because it's a given. Other people, I suspect, rain at some point came in two different areas. We were actually at exchange, and we, out of nowhere, we had to run for cover. We were under a lot of rain for quite some time. But the general feeling, when you look at the support base outside, let's say Ocherius Primary and Ocherius High, the support base was visible and vibrant. But the voting seemed to be, and in Prairie as well, waiting until that sort of last minute burst, because otherwise the day went slower than I think people would hope. But and as a result, some of the boxes as well are taking a little bit longer, because obviously if you're engaged in voting, even though the time has passed, once you are in there, you're still able to get it done. But generally, there was, I checked everywhere we went, the entire team, there was no report of any unrest, any conflicts. That was one great aspect of it. The counting, of course, is expected to be completed probably at best in another...
Let me put that to the director. Let me put that to the director of elections. Glasspool Brown, it's now 4 minutes to 6. Within the hour, the preliminary count should be over?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
We project to come here a little bit earlier than that.
Okay. And tell me, Mr. Brown, any major incident, anything you learned today that you didn't know already from the considerable years of experience you and your team have in doing these elections?
No, well, we anticipate in a by-election that normally the turnout is normally low, but we had hope and anticipated it will be a little bit higher than what it is. The indications are. But I think, as was said earlier on by Rodney, the day went fairly smoothly. We expected it to be a calm day. Mm-hmm. More so because one of the main political party was not contesting the election, and that would have contributed to the reduction in terms of heightened interest. That is. Yes. But we anticipated what took place today in terms of it being a quiet day. As I said earlier, we were anticipating a little bit higher turnout.
Yes. And what does that mean in terms of the cost that you will have to put on today's poll?
Yeah, that's a disadvantage or the problem with elections in Jamaica. In ours, we prepare for 100% turnout, and therefore our system, and we activate whatever we do, is with the intention that the turnout will be 100%. So, for example, we printed 43,826 ballots because 43,826 persons were on the list. Mm-hmm. So when you have a turnout of so low, you mean that a significant amount of your ballot in effect would not have been used, and that's a cost.
Yes.
And there are the other aspect of it in terms of manpower, etc., etc. So it impacts on the cost at the end of the day. As I said earlier on, our preparation is based on a 100% turnout. So therefore, our budget reflects that what we intend to hopefully to achieve.
Mm-hmm. So of those 43,000 ballots you printed, only about 15% would be used at the end of the day. That's about.
And then, you're talking about 5,000, a little bit over 5,000.
So what do you do with the rest? You have to dump those now.
No, those can't be used again.
Exactly.
so those would have to be shredded and destroyed, etc.
Mm-hmm. And certainly at the level of the ECJ, are the concerns around the low voter turnout and the considerable expense for many of these contests, has there been a discussion as to strategies as to how to alleviate some of that cost?
The whole question of voter apathy has been an issue that the Commission has been looking at over a number of months now, and looking at how best we can encourage the populace or the electors who are on the voters list to be a part of the process. And that discussion is going on. We're looking at some strategies that we hope can maybe influence the process going forward. I think and that's my personal view, I think we need to relook at doing a new exercise, because the voters list is basically, to a certain extent, has ballooned over the years, because we have been adding persons, and there are a number of persons on that list have migrated and are no longer interested in the process. So when you do your voter turnout and you use that base or that denominator, it gives a wrong impression in terms of the true intention of the electorate. So we need to look at, and that's, I said, that's my personal view, not the commission view, to look at how best, or whether or not it's not time for us to redo a new exercise in terms of a new enumeration.
All right. Thank you very much, Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown. Anything further to report for us, Rodney?
Well, while Mr. Brown was speaking with you from the inside of the office, right here we saw 5 vehicles in quick succession bringing boxes. I think if my recollection with the process goes well, these are boxes that have already been tallied prior to getting here and are now going to go through that recount and certify these boxes that are coming in. So about 5 vehicles in quick succession came. Those boxes are now going inside as well to be a part, and I suspect we'll forward the footage for that shortly. But pretty much one of the things people need to understand as well is that whenever these things happen, the electoral office right here has to be a sterile area. So
of
people
course,
understand
you can't go inside there.
No, not only that, but within, let's say, about 70, 80 meters either way, has to be a free from cars parked and all this. It has to maintain a sterile.
Thank you, Rodney. We're over time. Thank you, Rodney Campbell, Director of Elections, Glasspool Brown. But just to repeat, 63 of 146 boxes in the Northeast St. Ann by-election have been counted. 63 of 146 boxes. And Matthew Samuda of the Jamaica Labour Party is way ahead with 1,988 votes. That's 95% of the ballots cast. Samuda is now winning. Then David Anderson, the lone independent, he has 83 votes, or about 4%, and Neil Chase has 14 votes, 1%. So we can declare Matthew Samuda has won the Northeast St. Ann by-election. He will be returning to the Parliament, this time as MP for Northeast St. Ann. Time for the headlines at 6.
Cover Story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
3 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening. With the headlines at 6, I'm Norgay Banton. Polls are now closed in the Northeast St. Anne by-election. The Electoral Office of Jamaica is reporting a relatively incident-free day with a low voter turnout. Voting took place at 146 polling stations across the constituency. It's anticipated the Jamaica Labour Party's Matthew Samuda will easily win the contest in what's already considered a fairly safe seat for his party. His position is further strengthened because the opposition People's National Party decided not to contest the election. Mr. Samuda is instead facing off against a third-party candidate of the United Independence Congress, Chase Neal, and an independent candidate, David Anderson. The by-election was called following the resignation of Member of Parliament, Marcia Smith. According to Director of Elections Glasspool Brown, up to 3 this afternoon, less than 10% of the more than 43,000 electors had cast their ballot.
All right, up to 3 p.m., the voter turnout was 9.4%. Well, they're peaceful, they're quiet, as the numbers indicate that the voter turnout was very low. So far, up to 3 p.m. that is. There's no outstanding incident. No incident was reported to us.
Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. He was speaking with Nationwide News on Monday. Meanwhile, the police say up to news time, Monday's by-election in Northeast St. Anne was incident-free. Commanding officer for the St. Anne Police Division, Senior Superintendent Dwight Powell, says police personnel were deployed from as early as 4 a.m.
Yeah, we have been out from about 4 o'clock this morning. Of course, we are playing the supporting role to the Electoral Office of Jamaica, whose responsibility it is to run this election. So far, no unusual eventualities across the 136 polling station operating from 36 locations. And of course, we got some support from our police high command with additional assets that came in from specialized operation as also the public safety branch. So far, so good.
SSP Dwight Powell, head of the St. Anne Police Division. He says the police will now transition to the next phase of the operation. That phase is to take the sealed ballots from the polling stations to the returning officers in order to begin the counting process. In the meantime, Nationwide News spoke with some JLP supporters on the ground during by-election day activities in Northeast St. Anne. One supporter says the party is not working together.
Them don't do teamwork. They don't know teamwork.
Labour right now do teamwork?
No, they don't.
What make you say, sir?
Let me blind, sir. Eh? Me blind?
Oh, where you see it, sir?
Okay, me see it. They're not team members. They don't do the right thing. They're a bunch of craps. But for Samuda, though, him look like we can give him a try.
And another Labourite says he's willing to give Matthew Samuda a chance.
Samuda a great man. I just feel the energy about him. But the first time I see him, see me, the man if I think, see me real elder and him thing they see it. Yeah, man. So I from morning, early morning. I give me strength. Well, I'm all the way there. I don't know.
JLP supporters and workers in Northeast St. Anne. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging the Jamaican electorate to assess his administration's years of success when choosing their next government. He was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Lancewood Pipeline Extension Project in Exchange, St. Anne. Jamaicans will go to the polls next year when the general elections are due. According to the Prime Minister, Jamaican voters must begin to critically examine the government's efforts in managing the affairs of the country.
Your job as the voter is, yes, to make the protest about the water and the road and the school and the bus, but more so is to watch what the government is doing in the management of the economy. And there are a couple areas that you should look at. First thing is, what is the government doing with unemployment? That's reported almost quarterly. Is unemployment going up or is unemployment going down? What is the government doing with the management of your resources? Particularly, are they asking you for more taxes? What is the government doing with the debt? Is the debt going up or is the debt going down? These are the things that as voters you need to pay attention.
The Prime Minister's honesty has come under fire recently following the Integrity Commission's report into his statutory declarations. The matter has ignited a row between the two major parties, with the opposition PNP calling for Holness to resign. The recent nationwide Blue Dot poll, which found that a small majority of Jamaicans, 51%, believe Prime Minister Holness is leading an extremely corrupt government, has added fuel to the controversy. Corruption is ranked as the second most important concern of Jamaicans in these polls. But Prime Minister Holness asserts that his administration has done more for the Jamaican people than any other previous government.
We are going to go through the length and breadth of Jamaica and make the point to every Jamaican that all the things that you want, the truth is that this government has had the highest rate of delivery of the things that you want. If you compare the delivery of water supply today versus the delivery of water supply for the 18 and a half years of the opposition plus their last 5 years. If you compare the repair of roads and the building of new roads versus the opposition, we are way ahead. If you compare the building of houses, worse. If you compare the creation of jobs, if you create...
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. And to close out the headlines at 6, we have some updated numbers coming in from the by-election in Northeast St. Anne. 84 of 146 boxes completed and 99 votes so far gone to David Fritz Anderson, who is the independent candidate. 18 votes going to Chase Neal, and Samuda going away with 2,752 votes. Updated numbers coming in, only 84 of 146 boxes counted so far. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Nora Gay Banton. Sports is next.
It's time for a new look.
And high time to get serious about protecting our home and investment.
It's time to choose BH Paints. With over 60 years experience in quality paint finishes, their products are superior and long-lasting.
Time to check them out.
Ask about BH Paints 100% acrylic Ultima Plus paint and primer in one. Experience rich colors with advanced UV and mildew-resistant technologies, independently tested by experts. What are you waiting for? Visit a BH Paints Color Center today.
Here's to the early risers, and we are here all-nighters. The go the extra milers, and let's do it until it works. Workers. People who are powerful because they power through. Day after day. Challenge after challenge. You see, true power, it's not something you can buy or collect. It is something that starts on the inside. And you always know it when you see it. Sunshine Snack Peanuts, proud supporters of the powerful.
We've been a part of everyday Jamaican life for over 25 years. From paydays to birthdays, unexpected emergencies to anniversary celebrations, the supermarket checkout line, or paying a bill or taxes on time. Our fast, secure debit network provides reliable service so you can always depend on Multilink. Jamaican and proud, fast, secure, everywhere.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
Yes, Kemlani Mart is making deals.
Really? Deals like what?
On scratch, dented, new furniture and appliances.
Oh, that's great.
And that's not all. Kemlani Mart has tiles, toilets, doors at crazy low prices.
So I can make a deal on a sofa set?
Of course, and dining room sets, outdoor furniture, ACs and more. No reasonable offer will be refused.
Only at Kemlani Mart, Manor Center and 77 King Street.
I love this place, you see.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alex Raby. We kick things off with some football as Glenmuir beat Vietech 7-0 in the Issa Water Da Costa Cup football competition. Meanwhile, Denby beat Central 2-1, Garvey Marcia beat Fogo Road 4-0, Kemshill beat Winston Jones 5-0, Monroe College and Lacovia drew 1-1, Stets beat Magotty 4-1, Little London beat Godfrey Stewart 4-1, and York Castle drew 1-1 with Fern Court. Now on to cricketers. West Indies fast bowler Chanel Henry is confident the team will be ready when the ICC Women's T20 World Cup bowls off in the United Arab Emirates next month. Henry made the comment after making an unbeaten 59 in Sunday's losing effort in their warm-up match against India. The tournament begins with two matches, Bangladesh against Scotland and Pakistan against Sri Lanka on October 3. The Windies women will face Australia in a warm-up match tomorrow before facing South Africa in their tournament opener on October 4. Henry says there are still areas that they need to improve on before the start of the World Cup.
Come on the 4th or the next practice game, we will be ready. I just think, individually, I guess each person just needs to just contribute a little bit here and there. And once we have that from all 11 who's on the field, of course, the team will be successful. So I think, going into the next practice game, even into the tournament, individual performances will be key.
She says the players need to quickly get acclimatized to weather conditions in the UAE.
The heat, of course, it's always a challenge, but it's something that we do all the time. So of course, that's not an excuse. It was just about that mentality of wanting it, that hunger mentality. And once you could get through just those little obstacles and go out there and do what's needed for the team, then we will be successful.
Chanel Henry. The four semi-finalists have been decided for the playoff round of the Caribbean Premier League (CPL) at the Providence Stadium in Guyana on October 1 and 2. They are defending champions Guyana Amazon Warriors, Trinbago Knight Riders, Barbados Royals, and St. Lucia Kings. The Knight Riders will take on Royals on October 1, while the Warriors face the Kings a day later, with the finals set for October 4. The Knight Riders are seeking their fifth hole on the trophy, while the Royals won two titles when they were known as the Tridents. Kings are the only team not to have won a title, while Warriors hope to retain their title. A new era in Jamaica's cricket will begin tomorrow when former national player and selector Robert Haynes takes over as head coach of the Jamaica Scorpions. Haynes had long been identified as the new coach but could not be officially announced in his new role since the current coach, Andrew Richardson, is still under contract. Richardson's 2-year contract expires today. Haynes will have his hands full trying to turn around the fortunes of the Scorpions, who lost all but 2 of their games last season. Head of the selection panel, Delroy Morgan, is looking forward to Haynes' era.
We're expecting a lot. I know Jamaica has been down. We didn't do well last year in this competition, the 50 overs. We came last. In the 4-day competition too, we came way down the harder there. So we're looking forward to this group of players to really take Jamaica cricket forward and do well. We need to do better. We know it's just a little start now, but we're looking forward for these guys to really bring us right back up there where we belong.
Delroy Morgan. The Scorpions have been staging trial games under the supervision of Morgan and other members of the coaching staff. National champions Rashawn Clark and Akira Nugent are the two first Jamaicans to sign up with the Michael Johnson-led Grand Slam track series scheduled to get off in April next year. Clark confirmed his participation in the 8-meet series over the weekend. Nugent is understood to have inked her signature a month ago. The two Jamaicans now join the likes of Sidney McLaughlin-Lavroni, Fred Curley, Cole Hucker, and Kenny Bednarek, who have already signed on the series. The series will reward athletes winning with upwards of $400,000 should they win each of the 4 slams in their event category. The first meet in the series is set for Los Angeles, with the second at the National Stadium in Kingston. Michael Johnson is due in Jamaica on October 12 to shed more light on the Kingston leg of the series. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James says the prospect of playing with his oldest son, Bronny, has given him a lot of life. James is embarking upon a record equaling 22nd season in the NBA and is set to make history by taking to the court with the Bronny, who was drafted by the Lakers with the 55th pick in June. The 39-year-old comes into the season on the back of having helped Team USA to win gold at the Olympic Games in Paris over the summer. But he has an extra motivation this year, saying that he is revitalized by playing alongside one of his children. Olympic champions Roger Stoner and Julian Alfred headline a list of nominees for the Caribbean Male and Female Athletes of the Year at the inaugural Connaught Sports Awards. The awards are set to honor the Caribbean's finest athletes, teams, and sports leaders in the Turks and Caicos Islands on October 19. This prestigious event will celebrate the region's sporting excellence with a special focus on sustainability through the IOC's Sustainability Awards. In the men's category, Stoner, the Olympic champion and record holder, is joined by Kieran McMaster of the U.S. Virgin Islands, Grenada's Lyndon Victor, Jareem Richards of Trinidad and Tobago, and Sebastian Rivera of Puerto Rico. On the women's side, Alfred, the Olympic 100 meters champion and 200 meters silver medalist, will go up against Jasmine Camacho Quinn of Puerto Rico, Marilady Paulino of the Dominican Republic, Shafiqua Maloney of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Jamaica's Shanika Ricketts. There will also be awards for the Caribbean Male and Female Teams of the Year and Breakthrough Athletes of the Year. Ryan Henry, Diane Brown, Nicholas Wilson, and Ashane Gordon Morrison were all multiple winners at the Mayberry Investment Job for National Senior Championships at the AC Hotel on the weekend. Henry won the men's physique overall and the medium class titles, while Brown was crowned a bikini fitness overall and tall class champion. The bodybuilding overall and lightweight titles went to Wilson, with Gordon Morrison taking the women's body fitness and women's physique trophies. And finally, U.S.-based Jamaica go-kart driver Zane Burgess made history when he finished position 3 in the 5th and the final round of the United States Pro Karting Series, accumulating enough points, securing the championship's win, declaring him the 2024 Series champion. With this championship win, this will be the 5th Series championship that he has won in 2024. The others are SK USA Winter Series, ROK Winter Tour, SK USA Pro Tour, and Stars Championships. The two last major races on the calendar include the ROK Vegas and SK USA Super Nats, both in Las Vegas in November. I'm Alric Sribi, and that's your sports.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:22.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Freedom, speed, agility, intelligence, friendship. These are the hallmarks that define the dolphin, the master of the seas, and are the hallmarks that inspire Sterling Asset Management. For over 20 years, we have provided investment products that give our clients financial freedom, and our service is fast, insightful, warm, and genuine. Sterling Asset Management, intelligent investing for the intelligent investor.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East West. Vehicles using the automated T-Tag lane are processed in seconds, so you can pass through the toll plazas far quicker. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient, and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until September 30.
Jamaica. Let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation, moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public, while on the road to republic. Jamaica. Let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Make lasting impressions. Register now for the Make Your Mark Business and Personal Etiquette Conference set for October 30 at the Jamaica Pegasus. Sponsored by Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Monographic Printers, JPS, Nationwide News Network, Supply County, Jamaica Broilers Group, From Thought to Finish, Intelligent Multimedia Limited, Visual Tech Solutions, the Jamaica Observer, and Main Event Group. Come make your mark and attend the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference October 30. Call 876-978-6001 or visit www.makeyourmarkgroup.com now to register.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Howdy do, good evening and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robeanne Williams, a special one to our friends on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know we like to hear from you, so we ask you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. And I believe that this is one that we can all relate to. So as we continue to navigate the fluctuations in food prices, we're asking you a crucial question today. With the cost of living being a major concern for many, we want to hear from you. Are prices finally easing up, or is the struggle to afford fresh, healthy food still very real? And this is coming in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl, of course. So in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking, are you noticing lower prices for fresh vegetables and produce at supermarkets and markets? Gonna dive into those comments right away. On our Facebook, we have mixed experiences, mixed responses. I'm going to get into them. Philip Jackson is questioning, how could we ever have plant in time of scarcity, which is what drive low price, what can go so? I don't understand that one fully, Philip Jackson. Daphne McCreath is saying that people who ever hear about a time for the buyers and a time for the sellers, well, it is time for the sellers now. Remember all what is on the top price now. You can go to the market sometimes and get them cheap. All right. Lily Rose is saying, yes, went to the market and Market Friday and sweet pepper now $400, onion 200, carrot 200. A lot of things cheaper compared to sweet peppers. Used to be 1,000 before it's coming down slowly. And I must say, as a consumer myself, I feel nice. I feel nice for go to the market now. Like I can go and get tomato for $400 a pound. I got that on Saturday and I was like, woo, from $1,000. Imagine that, from $1,000 to $400 a pound. I like that. Joseph Bryden is saying it's cheaper now. Susie Q, yes, but some people won't admit cause them want the high prices to campaign on. Okay. Shins for Life is saying 3 weeks ago, I paid $1,200 for 12 ripe bananas downtown. And I didn't have a problem because I love ripe bananas and I know Beryl has stolen most of the trees. That's so true. And I want to listen how Shins for Life talking about her ripe bananas that she will pay $1,200 for. I will pay that amount or any amount for planting. Me's a girl, me love planting. So if it's all $400, me love planting. Bad. Yeah, I bought a planting for $200. I did a little bit still. Yeah. Rodney Williams is saying no one goes around checking prices of different products unless they work with the prices commission. Yeah, Consumer Affairs. Original Boss Lady is saying yes, for sure. Miss Tomato price gone down back to $100. Well, where you get tomato for $100? Me get it for $4 bills. Omar Lyle is saying, yeah, in the Ocherius area, got tomato and sweet pepper at a lower price. Barbara is saying, yes, I went to market over the weekend. Hopeton Cranston says, unfortunately, the prices stand up like statue and decide neither going down. They're rather going up like smoke and never coming back down. All right, okay. Harry Black says, half a cabbage for $500. So where the price is lower must be Belmont Road. No, man, cabbage used to up there. No, cabbage and lettuce used to up there, but they're coming down slowly but surely. Carol Carwin says, yes, some prices gone down. Natalie Winter says, haven't gotten a chance to visit the supermarket as yet. Audley Phillip, I haven't gone there either. Winston Montague is saying, I buy my produce at the Coronation Market on Thursday, and the price is okay so far. Yeah? And Shireen is giving us some figures here. Cucumber, $80. Tomato, $200 from $300. Irish, $200 from $300. Need beetroot to go down. That's for sure. We need the beetroot to go down for true. Alex Smith says, they're going to say all who say the price going down is JLP. Some people don't think, others have a mind of their own. Well, the mixed reactions here coming from our Facebook. Sean Major Campbell says, it is my hope that this also means a reduction of prices going into the Christmas season. I am also impressed with the resilience of nature. Carnation Market was a beauty to behold on Thursday. Would you look at that? Insta Elon on Instagram is saying, yes, at Carnation Market, tomatoes have fallen from 1,000 or 800 per pound to 300. Irish potatoes have been reduced from 400 to 200. No, man, me forgot go Carnation Market because I still pay $400 for Irish and $300. And you're telling me that a pound in Carnation is selling for what, 200? Lettuce is now 400, down from 600 last month. Melon and pineapple are still holding at 200 per pound. That's about $80 more than their usual price. Yeah? Coconut water is saying, if you mean slowly returning to pre-burial prices, you can say yes. Otherwise, it's a no because sweet peppers are still 600 per pound. And I get to understand that you will have the vendors who, based on the fact that they bought from other vendors, maybe in Coronation Market, or bought from the farmer, they're going to put on a little price. They're going to hike up the price a little. If you don't go straight to the market like somebody was telling me in office today, you might get it for a more expensive price. Oscar is on our YouTube channel. He's saying $200 per pound for cabbage in Ocherius. Even $150 last weekend. Price is easing for real. Strong Link is saying prices now have nothing to do with JLP or PNP. Well, there you go. Let me see. Kingsley McLean says, when you are poor, plant your own garden. Listen, 2 weeks ago, I told my my market lady, say, me I go start plant. Me I go start plant in my yard because them prices that we saw, $1,000 for tomato, $1,000 per pound for tomato, me I tell you the honest truth. Like, me no buy tomato for about a month. For about a month, my house never see tomato. And I bought tomatoes on Saturday. So for me as a consumer, I can say that I've seen where the prices are slowly going down. Verily, Verily Green on our YouTube saying, I bought cabbage $200 and tomato $300. Yeah. CG Martinez is saying, it's so sad. I listened to someone on YouTube sharing that tomatoes are $1,000 a pound. Yes. I converted immediately and it was approximately $7 US. I was literally speechless. Michael L says, things going down. That's where the market-driven economy comes in. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can get in some more. D-Muse saying food that are underground are much cheaper than the ones above ground. Megan Patterson says tomato is for $150 per pound. What? Wow. Okay. You can't shop at one person. You have to walk around. That is so true. But you know, me have this one little market lady where I always go to. Yeah. Me just give her my support. Every Saturday or so, whenever I go to the market, and I'm talking about a pop-up market, I just give her my support. Yeah. Let me see if I can get in just a few more. Yeah. Randolph is saying it's not possible that our next minister. Okay, you're referring to something else. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Ozra Walker says, I sell at the market and the price going down. Well, there you have it. Somebody talking from the market. We welcome that comment, of course. And we welcome the price. The price is going even further down in a way. All right, if it go down further. But I know to each his own, and the vendors, they too need to make some money. But me not telling a lie, like, it's a lot. $1,000 per pound a tomato was a lot. Killian Henry says, may I go start send up your package. All right, Killian. All right. From St. Bess, big up yourself, Killian Henry. We welcome that. Megan Patterson says $200 for cabbage. All right. Thank you guys so much for participating. I can safely say that the responses that I have gotten from our public opinion question this evening, they're mixed. However, majority saying that they're experiencing the lowering of prices in the markets for fresh produce and vegetables as well. Thank you guys so much for participating in public opinion. Up next, the business report.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:35. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robeanne Williams. The Bank of Jamaica BOJ has further reduced its policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.5% per annum, effective October 1, 2024. Now, this follows a meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, on September 26 and 27. The BOJ says it will also continue to take measures to preserve relative stability in the foreign exchange market. The decision of the MPC to loosen monetary policy further is based on an improvement in the inflation outlook. That's according to the BOJ. Annual headline inflation at August 2024, as reported by Statin, was 6.5% higher than the 5.1% at July 2024. Now, this outturn was in line with the most recent forecast and above the bank's target range of 4 to 6%. Further afield, a dock workers' strike is set to shut down ports across much of the U.S. indefinitely, threatening significant trade and economic disruption ahead of the presidential election and the busy holiday shopping season. Tens of thousands of members of the International Longshoremen's Association are preparing to walk out on Tuesday at 14 major ports along the East and Gulf coasts. And that's going to see some halting of container traffic from Maine to Texas. Barring a last-minute intervention, the action will mark the first shutdown in almost 50 years. President Joe Biden, according to the BBC, has the power to suspend the strike for 80 days for further negotiations, but the White House has said he is not planning to act. The two sides are fighting over a 6-year master contract that covers about 25,000 port workers employed in container and roll-on, roll-off operations. Talks have been stalled for months, and the current contract between the parties expires on Monday. Finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 158 Jamaican dollars and 70 cents to buy $1 US, 211 Jamaican dollars and 72 cents to buy 1 British pound, and 118 Jamaican dollars and 10 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robeanne Williams. Good evening.
On Sunday, August 11th, in the quiet community of Cherry Tree Lane in Clarendon, our entire nation was shaken by a brutal act of violence.
Gangsters mercilessly took the lives of 8 innocent Jamaicans, including a 7-year-old boy and several women.
These criminals will strike again, destroying more families and more communities unless we stand together to stop them.
If you have any information that can help bring these killers to justice, please share it with the security forces.
The government has established a reward fund of $25 million for information leading to the arrest and charge of the perpetrators who committed this heinous act.
The facilitators who supplied them with arms, intelligence and transportation.
Those who harbor and protect these criminals after the crime.
If you know something, say something.
Call Crime Stop at 311 MOCA at 888-6622-847.
NIB at 811 or the JDF at 837-8888.
Together, we will defeat the gangs and develop a culture of peace in our country.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Ministry of National Security.
Discover the magic of the Uwimona Library during Library Open Week 2024. Help celebrate with faculty members and students during this signature event, Celebration of Books, which will showcase scholarships coming out of the Uwimona campus. Discover cutting-edge digital tools that will enhance your professional development skills through their e-resource fair. Come on out, connect, unlock new opportunities, and dive into the world of knowledge. Discover, learn, succeed. October 13 to 17, 2024 at the Uwimona Library.
We a big deal when we touch ground. Yeah, I can see what we're pulling up. Anything for the taste what we love. Barbecue, spicy and original, flavorful, crispy, irresistible. 3 piece with the fries and a Pepsi. Go get your one big deal, stop stress me. All when we dip on the toilet, now left with.
Anything for the taste of a juicy, crunchy, irresistible KFC big deal. 3 pieces of delicious chicken, fries and Pepsi. KFC, it's finger licking good.
When I grow up, I'm going to be a famous gamer with viral videos all over the internet. I'm going to be rich. Good thing I'll already know how to take care of my money since Mommy got me this Sure Start account.
Open a CIBC Caribbean Sure Start account for your kids and give them a head start on financial smarts with a $1,200 sign-up bonus from us. We believe in their dreams as much as you do, so let's get them going together. Start young, start strong with Sure Start from CIBC.
You're invited to the Info Exchange Cloud Forum 2024, set for October 1 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in Kingston. Tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on Nationwide 90 FM from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. as we help them to highlight pressing questions about improving operational resilience, quick recovery from disruptions, and strategies about improving risk mitigation efforts. You don't want to miss this one. So tune in to Cliff Hughes Online on October 1 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's the Info Exchange Cloud Forum 2024. Tune in for all the updates and highlights only on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media. This broadcast is brought to you by Info Exchange.
From time immemorial, it's been said even some of the wisest men in the Bible had many wives. But Western ways want to warn women against accepting that teaching. Still, there are many men today who aspire to be Solomon, but can't find partners who agree. So, why do some women decide to stalk, confront, message, argue, and even go to war with other women who share their space and time? Isn't it better to leave what you can't manage or discuss it with the man of the moment? Work it out or leave the work. Join me, Rodney Campbell, every Tuesday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. for Affairs of the Heart, right here on Nationwide 90 FM. This Tuesday's topic: why do mating hens fight over the rooster?
Nation's Business is brought to you by BH Paints. Paint it, love it with BH Paints.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us here nationwide at 5. I'm Cliff Hughes.
And I'm Siobhan Campbell.
So it's 17 minutes going up to 7 o'clock, and the results are in from the by-election today in Northeast St. Anne. All boxes, all 146 boxes have been counted, and it's an expected win for the Jamaica Labour Party's Matthew Samuda. Mr. Samuda scored 4,838 votes, or 95% of the ballots cast. Now, repeating that, following all ballots being counted in the by-election today in Northeast St. Anne, the JLP's Matthew Samuda is the MP-elect. He scored 4,838 votes to the independent candidate David Anderson with 222 votes, or 4% of the vote, and Neil Chase, 1% of the vote. He got 30 votes. So that's the situation tonight. As expected, no surprises. Matthew Samuda has won the by-election today. It's a voter turnout of
11.6%.
11.6%. That's very low, very low. Normally, by-elections in Jamaica, you would see an average turnout of about 25%. But bear in mind, the contest was a one-way contest today, with the PNP not putting up a candidate, deciding to boycott the by-election. So that would have dampened the voter turnout significantly. So at the end of the day, a voter turnout of just about 11.6%, 43,842 it is, or 827 people were on the voters list. Just about 5,000 of the 43,000 bothered to turn up today, making for a turnout of 11.6.
5,090 to be exact.
5,090 of the 43,800 turned up to vote. And we're going to get some reactions now from Marlon Morgan of the Jamaica Labour Party's Communication Task Force. Marlon Morgan, good evening.
Good evening, Cliff. Good evening to your co-host, and let me say good evening to your listeners as well. And of course, a special good evening to the industrious, creative, and enterprising people of St. Anne Northeastern. Those folks who today would have elected Matthew Peter Samuda to the House of Representatives. Let me say a big thank you to them.
What do you feel of the turnout?
Well, not surprising. The turnout is on the low side, particularly in a context, Cliff, where the contest, as you indicated in the leading editorial just now, was one-sided. Yeah, the substantive opposition party opted not to contest this by-election, and so amongst many persons, certainly in the constituency here in Northeast St. Anne, there'll be a feeling that, well, it's, a sure thing. Matthew Samuda will be elected. We don't need to necessarily turn out. We don't need to take time off from work or those, that sort of thing to come out. But in the main, the voter turnout is, on the low side, but like I said, not surprising, particularly in a context where many would have felt that a victory for the Jamaica Labour Party's candidate in this by-election would have essentially been a foregone conclusion.
Mr. Morgan, are you concerned, though, if 5,000 people at a cost of $30 million for a by-election for a contest that will have to be repeated again in a matter of months? Is that equation a little concerning?
Well, put it this way, Siobhan, and I'm just being seized on the fact that you are the co-host, so let me say good evening to you. There is the reality of a nominal spend on these by-elections. You would have heard the Director of Elections speaking to it earlier today, that notwithstanding the fact that, it is very likely that you're going to have suboptimal voter turnout, the electoral authorities would still still have had to make provisions as though they are, expecting 100% voter turnout. And so with those realities, at the fore, you will find that the expenditure on, convening these elections are particularly significant. And the truth of the matter is that this is a feature of our democratic system of governance. This is a way of determining who gets to represent the people in respective constituencies. So whilst there's a price tag that really and truly resources could have gone to other aspects of public expenditure, in a sense, one can hardly discount or overlook in any way the fact that in a democratic system of governance, there's a premium that has to be placed by the voice of the people, notwithstanding the myriad of other national challenges that the expenditure and the resources could have gone to. Water systems, roads, some of the concerns the people here in Northeast Enton have.
Was the party able to achieve its targets today, Marlon?
Well, so it wouldn't be strategic or appropriate for me to make a public pronouncement or indicate one way or another what our targets were and the degree to which we may have fallen short of that or indeed have overshot that. So we did have a target in mind. We did manage to pull out just south of 5,000 votes, which in the grand scheme of things, and which is where I started off this evening, in the grand scheme of things, it's an appreciable number considering the prevailing view that it's a foregone conclusion to the extent that the PNP has not fielded a candidate in these elections. You have to pardon me a bit, Cliff. I am on the ground here in Northeast Enton, and from time to time you may hear the exuberant and jubilant cheers of the throng of JP supporters here blaring out across speakers and so on from time to time. So
understandable.
Most of the was just passing by the constituency office here in St. Anthony.
Okay, understandable. But tell me, your target was, of course, definitely to win, and you have done that. Yes?
Indeed.
But then the politics would demand that you would be able to gauge the level of enthusiasm of your base.
Yeah.
Were you able to get that?
And of course, Rodney and the roving team, Sonia Stewart and others, they were quite spot on earlier today when, they would have brought reports having interfaced with, residents of Northeast Enton, some of whom registered in no uncertain terms their apathy. They would have brought those perspectives to the fore. And indeed, for us as a political movement, we take note of concerns regarding, participation and youngsters in particular being involved. And this is one of the things that has to be at the forefront of the national discourse going forward. It cannot be that by virtue of our omissions or commissions as persons involved in the politics, we would have caused a situation or at least exacerbated a situation where people feel they have, good reason to not be a part of it, not actively involve themselves and, of course, express themselves by coming out to vote. And that is why when I worked at one of the locations earlier today, up in Chalky Hill, I was encouraged seeing some younger laborites essentially in the worker corps, and I commended the people who were there, the political liaison officer with whom I worked. I commended them on that because for the most part, the people who are actively involved in the political organization of political parties are some of your middle-aged and some of the senior folks. Some of them relate to me their experience in the 1976 elections and so on, citing that they have been involved in this thing from that time. And so when I saw some young persons being outdoor agents and runners today, enthusiastically going out and getting people, notwithstanding the relatively low turnout, I was at least encouraged by the fact that there are some folks. What we need now is to have more of their peers actually being involved in the politics. And that task rests largely with us as players in the political space. It's about appealing to people, exciting them, and signaling that, listen, the politics with which they have grown fed up over many years, we are seeking to usher in a new dimension in the politics. And that is why on Friday I characterized the political engagement and at least the gimmickry of our political opponents as not serving the body politic well, because it is suggestive of going back rather than a forward thinking thinking and a forward-looking, refreshing politics that can impress and excite young people in particular.
Mr. Morgan, considering the disaffection that had impacted the constituency under Marsha Smith, that had to be, let's face it, repaired by Mr. Samuda, what of Mrs. Smith's future in the Labour Party? Is it that she just was not a good fit for Northeast St. Anne? Is there another seat that she could potentially go, or is that just where her political career ends in the Labour Party?
One of the things the public needs to understand is that in service to Jamaica, there are many mechanisms and vehicles through which that can happen. Active involvement in the political space, primarily as a member of parliament, representative of the people, is but one of the avenues. Yeah? The Prime Minister would have signaled on the very occasion of announcing the by-election, this September 3rd by-election in St. Anne Northeastern, would have indicated that for Marsha Smith, he will be tapping into her substantive skill sets. She is an attorney at law. She is a former chairman of the Industrial Disputes Tribunal, so she has considerable knowledge and expertise with respect to industrial relations matters. And the Prime Minister did signal that he'll be seeking to tap into those skill sets and have something, that Marsha is likely to go on to in perhaps the weeks and months from now.
Will she take up a position in the upper house? Possibly?
Well, I wouldn't be able to make that determination. As you know, the matters of composition of the executive and, of course, persons who are appointed or considered for appointment rest solely with the Prime Minister, as do the dates of respective elections, be they parish council elections, by-elections, or indeed the big one, a general election.
Well, just for our listeners' awareness, the last time we had a by-election in Northeast St. Anne was in December 2010, following Shahine's resignation from the House in light of her dual citizenship. And then she recontested the by-election in 2010. And in that by-election, she secured 5,082 votes to Devon Evans's 1,081. So Matthew Samuda gaining 4,838 it is today is not far from what Shahine did in 2010. And also,
the circumstances were similar.
The circumstances were
similar in that there was no substantive, opposition contender, as it were.
In 2010.
That's correct.
Yes, and here again, the same thing. No substantial contender. Yes, the turnout then in 2010 was 15%, while today's turnout is just under 12%, 11.6%. Yeah, just for you to be able to compare the numbers, listeners.
Context.
Yes. So the Jamaica Labour Party, as you said, Mr. Morgan, has work to do in the constituency, though. Your Labourites are not happy with the organization there and the teamwork, as you did concede. Yes.
And I'm happy I'm able to speak from first-hand experience, Cliff. The preponderance of the view and the commentary today is that they're giving this young man a chance. They're giving Matthew a chance. They're entrusting him with a mandate. They're mindful, yes, that the big one is perhaps not too far off from now. Certainly, it's going to be within the next 12 months. But they have gravitated to Matthew Samuda insofar as his stewardship and record of achievement as a government minister, the energy that he has shown as someone who was associated with the party organization, the political organization here in Northeast St. Anne for the past 18 or so months. So he's not altogether new to the space, as your listeners may appreciate. And so, having regard to his program of work, or at least what he has signaled to them, his platform, in seeking their support by way of their votes today, he has spoken to infrastructure issues, primarily water supply and roads, some of the roads that are in a state of disrepair. He would have spoken to job opportunities, skills training for young people, and those things that are aligned with the aspirations of the industrious people here in St. Anne Northeastern. So the prevailing view is that they are very hopeful, they're optimistic, they're giving him a chance. They recognize that he's an individual in whom they can place some degree of store because they've seen what he has done substantively as a minister of government. So they're very encouraged by that. Yes. And my own message and, pleading to Matthew at this juncture would be to take this particular mandate in stride. We're very thankful to the people and importantly, work diligently, leave no stone unturned in serving them and serving them to the best of your ability. They have entrusted you with this mandate. You are now Member of Parliament elect. So in short order, you'll be taking your place in the lower house and the work should begin essentially tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And Mr. Morgan, the MP is essentially a funnel, though, but it will still be down to the government to ensure that those fundings and projects get off the ground. Will he be getting the support that he will most desperately need in order to maintain that constituency?
Well, there's every indication that will in fact be so. In fact, one of the contemplations that, members of the electorate make in the context of by-elections is the political party that forms government. The conventional view, as Cliff and other, observers of the politics over many years will indeed corroborate, is that members of parliament who are amongst the government are persons who are perhaps better able and are seen by constituents as being better placed, as it were, to deliver on what it is that they vow to deliver on, particularly as it relates to fixing the issues that matter to them, such as the state of public infrastructure in the constituency. And so, in terms of the government's commitment, the government has demonstrated that delivering for the Jamaican people is what it is about, and the people of North East St. Anne are going to be no exception. The Spark program is in the offing. Consultations are going to continue in earnest. The REACH program, which is aimed at rehabilitating certain road aspects of the road network here in the constituency, is going to happen. And Matthew has already been eyeballing the problems in terms of water infrastructure, some of the land settlement issues in terms of land tenure, because as listeners will appreciate, there is very little that means more to a Jamaican than having a document that gives them some stake to a piece of the rock called Jamaica.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan. We've got to leave it there.
Thank you so much for having me, Cliff, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Marlon Morgan, a member of the JLP's Communication Task Force. We did put out a call for the MP-elect, Matthew Samuda. He told us he has lost his voice from all the work he has been doing in the run-up to today. He has no voice. This is Nationwide at 5.
Nation's Business was brought to you by BH Paints. Paint it, love it with BH Paints.
Choose your life insurance coverage, apply, and pay online. Live the e-life with Sagicor Life. The time by Sagicor Life is
7:02.
The Watchman. Exploring issues shaping our society, government, and business. Provocative, unconventional. Dr. Henley Morgan is The Watchman.
Good evening. Is America heading towards ethnic cleansing? Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. These welcoming words inscribed on the Statue of Liberty located on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, which were once the hallmark of American exceptionalism, are today something less than that. U.S. immigration laws have become highly selective in who is allowed in to pursue the American dream. One notices these days a virulent strain of racism showing its ugly head in American right-wing politics, especially relating to immigration policy. It was always there, but subtle, until brought into the public square by Donald Trump in his speech on June 16, 2015, announcing his run for the presidency. His grand entrance to mainstream politics on the gold-colored down escalator is ignobly etched in American history. So too are these words stereotyping Mexican immigrants. I quote, "They are bringing drugs, they are bringing crime, they are rapists, and some, I assume, are good people." End of quote. Enough people bought into the crass display of racism to elect Trump the 45th president. The most memorable and persistent aspect of his political platform during the campaign and continuing into the presidency was building the modern-day Berlin Wall along the southern border of the United States with Mexico, ostensibly to keep out illegal immigrants from Central America. He went further, revoking the status of naturalized citizens and deporting them in numbers never seen before. This was confirmed in recent comments by Stephen Miller, far-right and anti-immigration senior advisor to the president on immigration policy in the Trump administration. This is what he said. I quote him, "We started in the first term, and in 2025, it will be denaturalization on steroids." End of quote. For his part, Trump is openly promising mass deportation on a scale never before seen and an immigration ban to prevent migration from what he refers to as infested countries. Borrowing language from Nazi Germany used to justify extermination of the Jews, he speaks of immigrants poisoning the blood of America, as if it couldn't get any worse. In his debate against the Democratic candidate for president, Kamala Harris, he told and continues to tell the lie of Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating people's pets, putting their lives at risk. If I were to say ethnic cleansing similar to that perpetrated against Bosnian Muslims by Serbia under Yugoslavian President Slobodan Milosevic is coming to America, the reflexive and resounding reaction by right-wing zealots would be, that can never happen in America. I ask listeners, on the basis of evidence that's in plain sight, to think on these things.
Produced by Agency for Inner City Renewal, AIR, and recorded in the Jamming Studio Trenchtown, a breath of fresh air bringing change to the inner city.
Welcome to our Active Corner brought to you by Active Home Center. Are you ready to upgrade your bathroom? It's time to choose the perfect toilet for your space. First, consider the size of your bathroom. Measure the space where the toilet will be installed so it fits comfortably. Also, decide if you'd want a standing toilet or one that floats from the wall to suit your style. Did you know toilets can conserve water too? Look for toilets with a green WaterSense label that uses less water when flushing. Also, consider soft close toilet seats that close slowly and quietly. Shop toilets in our showroom today. Tune in at this time for more from Active Home Center.
The Coconut Industry Board is encouraging all registered farmers to make contact with their advisory officers and complete the Farmers Damage Assessment Form. Forms should be submitted to the advisory officers before the 31st of October 2024. While the industry was not severely affected by Hurricane Beryl, significant tree and knot loss was reduced. The CIB will provide additional replacement seedlings and fertilizer based on the calculated damage assessment triggers.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East-West. The T-Tag system reduces the amount of cash handled at our toll plazas and makes it safer for our staff and motorists at the toll booths. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost-efficient and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. T-Tag packages are discounted to only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until September 30.
Don't miss Info Exchange's Business Cloud Forum, October 1 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Global technology leaders, Nutanix, IBM, HPE Aruba, Zerto, and Exagrid will be here sharing insights and live demos. Discover how AI is reshaping industries and increasing efficiencies. Learn proven technologies to build operational resilience and protect your business from disruption. Register now at infoexchangeja.com. Info Exchange, smart technology, better business.
Gonna win? Punchinella, little fella. Tasty beat, summer promotion there. Who's gonna win this $1 million? You have a chance to win, my you just follow.
Win $1 million in the Tasty Beat summer promotion. Purchase any Tasty Cheese product for a chance to enter. Find our Tasty Beat flyer, scan the QR code, upload your receipt with your Tasty Cheese, fill in the other details, and that's it. Plus each week, win $60,000 and other small prizes from Tasty Cheese. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Ten minutes after 7 o'clock, we are going to be looking at the United Nations General Assembly speech of the Jamaican Foreign Minister, Kamina Johnson-Smith, last week. But just before we do that, Siobhan, we are not paying enough attention. Helene did extensive damage to the southeastern states of the U.S.
Yes, particularly North Carolina.
128 people were killed. That's high.
I was genuinely shocked when I heard the death toll.
And they're now telling us that that death toll
could rise to as much as 600.
Yeah. Helene.
A Category 4 storm, as I understand.
And that is why it is described, anything at Category 4, catastrophic. Because parts of several states were just decimated. In Asheville, in North Carolina, the mayor is saying that communities have just been wiped off the map by Helene. Yeah? We're going to come to that a little later, but the United Nations has backed a call by Jamaica's Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, to renew the mandate of the Multinational Security Support Mission in neighboring Haiti. Senator Johnson-Smith made the call during her speech at the UN General Assembly in New York last week.
Mr. President, much closer to home, Haiti continues to face one of the most challenging periods in its storied history. Rampant gangs are causing chronic instability and unspeakable violence, especially against women and children. Millions of Haitians are facing hunger and dislocation. They need and deserve the unwavering support of the international community to restore peace, security, and democracy, and to address the devastating humanitarian crisis. Jamaica will continue to play its part, including through CARICOM and the Eminent Persons Group, in supporting the political process in Haiti. Significant progress has already been made, particularly since the Kingston talks convened by CARICOM in Jamaica in March of this year. We welcome the installation of the Transitional Presidential Council, the appointment of an interim Prime Minister and Ministerial Cabinet, and the finalization of the Provisional Electoral Council. The Multinational Security Support Mission is critical to the restoration of peace and security in Haiti. We reiterate our gratitude to the government of Kenya for its leadership of and commitment to the MSS. We're pleased to confirm that on the 12th of September, Jamaica deployed its initial command contingent along with Belize as part of the MSS. We are committed to scaling up our numbers. But we also call on the international community to contribute more personnel and equipment. Restoration of peace and security is critical to the creation of an environment in which free and fair elections can be held. The establishment of democratic governance is critical for sustainable economic growth and development for Haiti. Mr. President, since the deployment of the MSS, we have seen improvements in the situation and have reason for cautious optimism. More is needed, however, and time is not on Haiti's side. It is critical that we preserve and advance gains made. It is critical that we maintain hope and stability. We therefore urge the Security Council to renew the mandate of the MSS and to consider future transition to a peacekeeping framework to guarantee funding. We also call for continued and increased support from member states, including financial contributions to the Trust Fund. This is needed for deployment of additional personnel to support the HNP as they recover communities from criminal gangs. Mr. President, we further call on the international community to significantly increase contributions to the humanitarian response plan for Haiti, which remains underfunded at 39% of target. Support to BNU must also be ramped up so that displaced families can be fed and provided with critical health care, and children can return to the classrooms to resume their education. Jamaica will continue to do what we are able. We will support our sister CARICOM nation in the effort to restore peace, security, and stability in Haiti and, by extension, the region.
That is Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, Jamaica's Foreign Affairs Minister. She was speaking at the UN General Assembly last week. She also said that following her call, the 15-nation council renewed its mandate in a unanimous vote. The council urged the MSS mission to speed up its deployment. It also called on all nations to provide additional voluntary contributions and support. We can only hope that that vote and that call actually materializes in actual support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Haiti needs the help. They need it. Yeah. Long suffering. They haven't had a break in a long, long while. All right. 15 minutes after 7, we take our next break and then come back with more on the aftermath of Helene in the U.S.
Live exquisite this year with new arrival black and chrome fixtures for your home at Unique Living. Select from a wide variety of rain shower systems, fabulous faucets, and stylish sinks to suit your kitchen and bathrooms. Get uncompromised quality and style unique to you. Shop everything new at Unique Living, Jamaica's leading shower and faucets provider. Visit shop number 6, 30 Dunrobin Avenue, Kingston 10, or call 876-755-3661 to 2.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, while we feel safe at night. Jamaica live
good. Yeah, girl. Yo, Martina. Beg your money, no? Jano Star, the thing dismal. It's sticky out in the streets, you know.
Hey, money. But I take that from you right now. But Rashi, you know, I have a way we can make some money quick. Like 100 grand, my girl.
100 grand? Quick and fast? Yo! But hold on there. That not sound straight.
What you mean by that not sound straight? A straight business me say. And you know that too. And I work from home, my girl. All you need is a phone. I'm send you to lead them. You just have to call me. Easy one to that.
Well, them maths they don't seem so hard at all. I really want to. Alright, me go check my brother and show him the pre. Me call you back later.
Make sure you call me back, you know.
Yeah, girl.
Alright, later.
Yo, sis, what go on?
Good, son. Martina show me a pre for make some quick money, you know. All we have to do, I just dial. She will send the leads.
Dial? Sis, you know no sense. Martina chopper, I sink she go sink you. We not do the right thing. You should report her. No have no conversation with no chopper. Just do the right thing.
She my friend. All you have to say that. Oh, me for do her that? She check for me?
So I've share your friend. A prison what that, you know. And you can end up dead and get mixed up with the wrong people them. You need to take care of yourself and do the right thing.
Real talk. Me never did a meds so, you know. All me I think about is how to make some quick money. Thanks for the guidance. Me I do the right thing and load that out.
I bet you look a real work and do the right thing.
A true man. Me could do the right thing and live good.
Jamaica live good, yeah. I make we enjoy life, what we feel safe at night. Jamaica live good. I better you and I.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Freedom, speed, agility, intelligence, friendship. These are the hallmarks that define the dolphin, the master of the seas, and are the hallmarks that inspire Sterling Asset Management. For over 20 years, we have provided investment products that give our clients financial freedom, and our service is fast, insightful, warm, and genuine. Sterling Asset Management, intelligent investing for the intelligent investor.
Quick Cart is a new click. Get convenience at your fingertips. The reliable way to get your order quick. Any store or restaurants for your food fix. Quick Cart is a new click for sure. Click efficiency waiting in your app store. More than the plate, we're bringing you more. Don't order online and get it straight to your door. Tell a friend. Quick Cart is a new click. Tell them better make this one stick. Quick Cart delivery at the right pick. Good customer service, I forget it. Now serving Kingston and Montego Bay. Visit quickcartonline.com.
It's 7:20 and we're into the third and final hour, and as we said, we were going now over to the United States, where authorities say more than 100 people have died following the passage of Hurricane Helene in the southern eastern states of the country. Some senior officials say that number could rise to as much as 600. The hurricane made landfall near Perry, Florida as a Category 4 storm with 140 miles per hour sustained winds and higher gusts, according to the National Hurricane Center.
North Carolina was one of the most affected states over the weekend. At least 44 people were killed across that state. Emergency crews in North Carolina were racing today to deliver food and other essential supplies to areas hit hard by Helene. In interviews and social media posts, residents say they urgently need diapers, baby formula, gas, and drinking water. Hundreds more remain unaccounted for, and hundreds of thousands of customers were without power in the state as of this evening. The BBC has more in this report.
Now, more than 116 people are known to have died across several US states after high winds and torrential rains caused by Storm Helene. Several towns have been left in ruins, roads have been flooded, and power has been cut to more than 2 million people. Our correspondent Megan Owen has this report.
Biblical devastation, the words of emergency officials as they battle the leftovers of the tropical storm. North and South Carolina are the latest states in its path of destruction, with the highest death toll so far. Locked roads and downed power lines have isolated the mountain town of Asheville. Entire homes submerged, drivers stuck.
Even before the officer got to me, the water was all the way up to my chest inside my car. And it happened so fast to me and scared the life out of me.
Residents have nowhere to go.
I've never seen so many people homeless as what I have right now. Not in my community. This is the third storm in a year. I don't know how much more we can take, and then they're telling us there's another one out there.
Elsewhere, gridlocked petrol stations make it near impossible to leave.
When you can't get gasoline, you can't go anywhere. You can't go buy nothing. Of course, there's nothing open right now, but it all depends on these gas stations. It's just a scary feeling.
Affected residents will receive visits by both presidential candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, and federal aid is on offer.
We are deploying food, water, and generators and working to restore water and power. President and I have told state and local leaders we will provide whatever help they need in the days and weeks ahead.
And in those coming days, it's all many can do to hope and pray for calmer conditions. Megan Owen, BBC News.
That report from the BBC, quite amazing scenes of devastation and flooding there in the mountain town of Asheville in North Carolina. This is a storm that started in the Atlantic and barreled through the Gulf, and it affected North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, of course, yes, and 128 people, CNN is reporting, now dead, and that death toll could go up by as many more as 600 people.
Well, we hope that it doesn't come to that situation, but I understand we do have someone who is currently in South Carolina on the line. That's Brenda Peart. Good evening, Ms. Peart.
Good evening, Brenda. Brenda Peart in South Carolina. Good evening.